Hi everyone, I'm Ehadi Lohese, and for my project, I'm interviewing my friend Brian. He's a master's graduate at St. Thomas in mechanical engineering, and he's going to tell us what he did, a project back in Uganda that has to do with installing solar panels. So here he is.
Yes, hello. My name is Brian Assendi. I went to University of St. Thomas. I did my bachelor's in mechanical engineering and my master's in mechanical engineering. And my master's project was the installation of solar panels in a village in Uganda.
So tell us about the project, Brian.
Well, this is a project I've always wanted to do since I was a kid. I wanted to put power in my mother's village. Since I learned how to make electricity when I was uh, 12 years of age, and it's always been a dream I wanted to chase. So when I got a chance to do it, I took it upon me to accomplish the project.
So, what was the project about? You said you installed solar panels. How did you guys install it, or what effect did it have on the community, or how much electricity did it produce, or what were the benefits of installing solar panels and nothing else?
Uh, the benefits of the solar panels. One, what we're trying to achieve was to provide lights for uh, basically normal lights for lighting in the house so kids can study at night, and then to charge small electronic devices like cell phones. Those were the biggest goals of the project. We installed 8 solar panels, each producing 175 watts, and the total system was producing 1.2 kilowatts of power per 1.2 kilowatt hours um, every every day, and that's best of 8 hours of it, 8 hours a day. And we used two charge controllers, um, used two charge controllers, two inverters, and four 200 amp hour batteries to do everything. So the power comes from the solar panels. Then it goes into the charge controllers, which charge the batteries, and then the batteries um, uh, send power to the inverters, which invert the power from 24 volts to 240 volts, which is the base in Uganda, and that's it's sent up into houses. That's how the system works.
So, why solar panels? Why not something else?
The reason why I did solar panels is because all the other resources I could use to produce power could not work in that setting. I tried hydro. I did research into hydro to use hydro, but the problem with hydro is it requires maintenance, and there's no person in the village. There was no person with the technical ability to maintain the the hydro system, and then wind could not work there because it's not there's no a good wind that moves through the village, and the trading center where we put the power is in a low valley, so there's no wind basically. We could not do biomass because that it creates a lot of issues in terms of the storage of gas. It's a safety hazard for a lot of people, almost especially people illiterate about it. So that's how we came to solar panel. It was the best option we had because it required less maintenance, and it's guaranteed to work for 15 years uninterrupted.
So, about the solar panels, can it? Is there any way it can get damaged, or I mean, would they have to replace it themselves if there was any damages to it?
The solar panels have a 25-year guarantee of working, and then really there was the solar panels made solar panels that have been made usually rarely fail. It's always the batteries that fail on systems. Other electronic devices are the ones that fail on systems, not the solar panels. And right now, the way the system is built, It's the system is built whereby if anything fails, the villagers can mobilize to build to repair it.
Okay. Being a mechanical engineer, what do you say about the future of renewable energy in the U.S. and also, especially like you did in developing countries?
Renewable energy is a good source of energy in terms of it's low cost, easy to maintain, and it's good to achieve short term goals in terms of like lighting, yeah, providing lights and doing very simple simple things that require power. But the renewable energies cannot provide a lot of power. And an example is even if you span the U.S. from one end of the continent to the other end with solar panels, you never produce enough power to even light up New York and to give power to New York alone because you need batteries to store such power. That's why solar panels have a big problem. Is you need where to store the power. Same thing with wind energy because they all produce DC and they cannot produce AC. Now, the only renewable source of energy, and I don't know if people really think of this as renewable, but the only source of renewable energy is nuclear. Hate it or love it, nuclear is the only way we can produce power with less emissions and produce enough power for to power the industries and give lights and things like that. Um, so that's the only way it's achievable. All the other sources, coal is great because it's very cheap, but the problem is coal pollutes a lot, and nuclear is the hydro energy is cheap too, but it causes a lot of ecosystem disability, ecosystem problems and floods areas, and it's very expensive to start up. It's similar to nuclear, but it has more effects on an environment than anything else. And then so what are you left with? You're left with gas, which right now is one of the cheapest ways to produce power, but soon also gas will run out. So the best way to do it is using nuclear, and nuclear people are afraid of nuclear just because of the incidences of Chernobyl, Long Mile Island, and the recent yeah, whatever's in Japan. But the those issues can be isolated on all in different situations. The reason why I say nuclear is the best sources because nuclear produces a lot of energy for very little input. And I've worked at a nuclear power plant. I've seen how it works. I have um, I have also worked on other. I've worked with other research. I've worked on nuclear power plants, and I've seen how nuclear works, and it's really safe. If everything is done right, it's always it's gonna be safe. And nuclear power plants being built right now, which are called fourth generation nuclear power plants, are the safest they have been in a long time, and they all actually a company has to keep people have to work on them to keep them running instead of make them fail. They are built to fail, whereby they will always want to shut down, but people have to make them run. So basically, nuclear is the only way we can produce enough power.
Okay, well, thank you for allowing me to interview and for all those informations. Yeah, thank you.